Welcome to Screenensos Presents The True Stories. I am Janvi, and today we are connected to our debut author, Akash Rathod, who is here with his book Ice Down. Hello, Akash. Welcome to Screen Institute Presents The True Stories. How are you?
I'm doing great, Janvi, and yeah, the pretty much things are going well. Apart from that, the new coronavirus mutant or something of like that has come out, and sort of
Oh,
it's scary.
yes.
So I'm just waiting for a new year to come.
Okay, I hope the new year is like not similar,
Yeah,
anything similar to 2020. Okay,
yeah,
so
exactly.
tell
Yeah,
us something about yourself.
I'm currently doing my master's in English literature. I'm 23, and I'm as confused as anybody of my age about everything like love, career, life, and things like that. So that's it.
Okay. Okay, so we all know that you are here for your debut novel, The Ice Town. So tell me something about your book.
Ice Town is about a 19 years old engineering student who is trying to figure out his life. It takes you through the chaos of growing up, finding your dream, dealing with your love life, and above all, finding your own self. The purpose of writing this book was to go beyond the well known philosophy of Paulo Coelho, which he has written in one of his books called The Alchemist. And also, these lines have been used in Shah Rukh Khan's movie Om Shanti Om. You know that dialogue, किसी चीज को अगर तुम पूरी शिद्दत से चाहो तो उसे मिलाने के लिए पूरी कायनात उसकी कोशिश में लग जाती है. So that
Yeah,
line, which originally were like, if you want something from bottom of your heart, the whole universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. So
yeah,
I one day I thought, what if a person wants two, three, or more things at one time in life? What if one is confused or doesn't even know what one wants? Then how the universe works towards helping
yeah,
him. So in my attempt of seeking answers to these questions, I went on finding the story of Ice Town, and yeah, that's how then I went on seeking the answers and kept on writing and writing it, and eventually the story went on developing, and that's how I wrote it.
Do you try to be more original or deliver what the readers want?
The thing about what reader wants is a very tricky thing. You can't figure it out what actually reader wants, because there are millions of people, and if you're lucky, if you get really good fame, then you will be writing for millions of people, so probably you can't figure out what people actually want. So the thing is that you can write what you feel, what you genuinely care about, and hope that most of the people share your taste, and that's the only way
Yeah, of
to go
course.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, do you think someone could be a writer if they don't feel emotions strongly?
This is at a very personal level. The thing is, you have to feel about the subject. You don't have to be emotional about everything else that is happening around you. But if you're writing about
Yeah,
certain topic, you have to have that connection with it, like some kind of attachment to it, so that you are more you do the justification to it. You more work hard, and kind of you want to put it into the right words, right format, right, and tell it in the most honest way. So you have to have that little bit of emotion with the topic you
yeah,
are writing about. Other than that, you don't have to be emotional about everything else. Like you don't have to be feel everything that is happening around you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So, what is the first book that made you cry?
that would be the Diary of a Young Girl. The Anne Frank's diary, which she wrote about the Holocaust days that she spent into the hiding. And the reason was not that it was emotional, which it of course is, but that at the age of 14 or something, Anne Frank was so good in writing. And sometime I can't stop thinking, what if she was alive, and like what kind of writer she would have become. That that imagination, if she had been alive, what kind of writer she would have become. That thought sometime makes me emotional about it. So that is the first book that made me cry.
Okay, okay. So,
Yeah,
does writing energize you or exhaust you?
I think it does both. But sometimes, most of the time, coffee does the trick. Because I drink a lot. So otherwise, it
Yeah,
does the both thing.
caffeine always works, right?
Yeah, caffeine always works.
So, what are the common traps for aspiring writers?
before they start writing, just like aspiring writer, because I will just answer about myself. What was the trap for me a year ago or so before I finished Ice Town was, they start or we start thinking that, it's just 200 or 300 pages or so. If you write 10 pages a day, you end up writing it in a very, like, 100 pages intended, right? And in a month your book is out. So that is
Okay,
the
yeah.
trap. So,
Okay, sure.
yeah.
What other writers are you friends with, or how they help you to become a better writer?
Actually, to be honest, I'm not friends with any writers because I don't think two writers can be friend ever. It's like, everybody got that ego issue when they're artists. And, having the writer friend, I don't know. I don't have
So, do
any.
you have like, so no one from your group is like a writer like you?
I think I'm the better writer than them. And also,
Oh,
and they are, most of them are, they want to become a writer. Anybody hasn't actually written anything that one can read. So they just want to become a writer. So that's it. So they are in the process. I hope they become very soon.
so don't they like come up to you and for your opinions for something they have written? That Akash, see, I've written this. How is it?
Yeah, they send me their work and I read it and I honestly review it. There is one of my friend who is into screenwriting. He's not into novel writing, so sort of makes it easy for me to evaluate his work because we are not in the competition. He is into screenwriting, movies and web
Yeah.
series writing, and novel writing is entirely different. So I review it the way very friendly and honestly. So we do that for each other.
Okay, so after publishing your first book, how did it help you to change the process of writing?
Yeah, I think I haven't changed much after my first book. I think I got more organized, and keeping the target and getting it done. That's all.
And what about publishing it? Doesn't that
For
make any changes?
No, because now for me publishing is more easy. I don't have to be worried because I have a publisher, and also my
Okay.
first book actually sold really well. So I got a publisher who are really willing to publish even before I have written my second book. They're like, if you are finished, please, they're like that.
Okay, okay. So, what
Yeah.
inspired you to start writing?
Uh, I think like most people of 17 or 18, I was trying to find what I love or what I was good at, something that I can go on doing for life and not get bored of it. By that time, I was doing what everyone else was doing. Even during my 11th standard junior college, and I was preparing for
Okay.
medical entrance exam. And during those days, I started reading novels to get off with all the thinking in my head. Every time I finished a book, I would feel like I can write a book like this, or even better than this one, whichever book I would read. And this kept on happening with each book. Probably I was reading all the not so well written book or worst book that has ever been written. But
Mhm.
this book actually encouraged me. I then went on reading The Alchemist, and it hit me hard, somewhere so deep. And I kept on thinking how this book might have touched and influenced many people like me. I wanted to do the same. I wanted to entertain and influence people for the good, and writing was something that I felt like I could do it through. And so, since then I started, after I finished Alchemist, that, I should do this. This is what something feels worth doing. And so after I finished that book, I took that decision. I wanted to become a novelist suddenly. And that's it. I never looked back since then. And most importantly, Janvi, when I took that decision, I had no idea about writing or had written a page in life. Yeah. So
Oh, can you tell us something you love about the book Alchemist?
Actually, I love the whole book, but in particular, the philosophy of it, the core philosophy of it, the way, the guy has a dream and he has no idea where it is or like that, how he's going to find it and how the universe is going to help him. And so, in the end, he makes the whole journey, and in the end, he realizes where the thing was, what he was looking for, from where he left. That's the only place where everything was what he was looking for, the thing he was searching. And so, but
Yeah.
he wouldn't have realized it if he hadn't taken that journey. The journey was important. So I realized that, you have to make a journey to really get what you want. So that book actually helps you to understand, to have that courage and go for something that you really love and go for your dream. So that was most important.
So, what, in your opinion, are the most important elements of starting writing?
Actually, I think honest motivation, consistency, determination to finish the damn story. That's all.
Oh,
Yeah.
so someone should, like, if I think about it, if I have a story in mind and
Okay.
I'm not determined enough to finish it, so will I ever be like, if I like one page in a day and like finish it and write second page 5 days later, will I be able to finish it?
No, because that's the thing, na. You need a determination to finish it. You don't have. It's like starting a something. It's like starting a race somewhere, but you have no will of finishing it. So it's somewhere you'll get tired and you'll just get out of the race. You'll be like, okay, fine, I'm done with it now. You need that determination to finish the damn story.
Yeah, even like I think link is even important. If you like do something after like 5 days, you won't be like, okay, yeah, sure. It would be like we have to link something to
Yeah,
it. We
that's
have
where
to
the
put it as
consistency
link
comes
out.
in.
Yeah.
So if the consistency here, then you can be consistency, and then you can follow it with the determination, and then there you go. You can finish the story.
So,
Yeah.
tell me what comes first, the plot or the character?
In my opinion, both are equally important. Like make a perfect recipe, you need all the ingredients in it in the right amount. So that way, these both have to be there in a very balanced state. Then only the story can become interesting. Otherwise, you can lose your audience or reader anywhere in the middle of the book.
So, what is the most difficult part about writing your book?
Uh, it was my first book, so the whole process of writing itself was difficult. It was sort of a learning process for me. I was learning writing through writing. So that's it. And most important was to stick to my schedule, because in spite of all the distraction, social media, friends, some crazy addictive web series, movies, and things like that.
Yeah.
And also my
So,
addiction and uh, that love for traveling. I have to control all of those things. Sit on a table and write. Sit on a
yeah.
chair, not
So
on
you
table.
have
Sorry.
to take it as work for writing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have to treat it like a work, and you have to finish the book. Then you have to treat it like a work. So that was the most difficult one.
So, do you hear from your readers much, and what do they say?
Yeah, I do. Most of the time, their reaction is instant as they text me through social media right after they finish reading it. They go on praising the book's character and philosophy and tell me how the book has touched them personally. And then they ask all those curious questions that only author can answer, such as whose life this story is based on, how much of it has been inspired from your own life. The way you when you finished
Yeah,
my reading my book.
I
Yeah,
I message you, yeah.
yeah, so you sent me all those lengthy messages about how the book was good, and then you had some questions, and you were like, can I ask you some questions about it, and then so that way, I
Yeah.
sometime actually, to be honest, as author, uh, I love the part when some people actually act on what I've written about the philosophies or the issues that I have discussed in the book, and they act on it,
Yeah.
and then they tell me how they have acted it, because. I'll tell you the a little story. It's like very interesting one, like a novel itself. I had one of my
Sure,
friend
sure.
read the book, and then he finished it, and then he was from Delhi, and he was not interested into studies, and like he was not getting that coming to college studying the subjects. He was like it's waste of time. He was my
Yeah.
batchmate. Then he
Okay.
packs his bag he leaves Delhi to come from Mumbai, and he never reaches Mumbai. So his parents are like, where has he gone? And
Oh, yeah.
so they got worried and they put a complaint into a police station. And then I was his best friend, so I got a call and the police came to me and they are like, you know anything about him? Did he call and all that? I'm like, I have no idea. And actually, I had no idea. And so some 1 month went by. Even the police had given up by then, and so yeah, the parents were like very sad and they were crying and it was really terrible. So one of his sister who was at home back then in Delhi, she went to his room and she was like just to pass the time because everything was really sad at into the hall because relatives coming and people friends like that. And so she was like, she found one book there. Back then, Ice Town was not out. It was just some fourth or fifth draft, which I gave that friend of mine after I Xerox copied it, and she read it. My name was
Mm,
not there on the book back then; just the title was there, and she read it. And
mm,
after she finished it,
mm.
she was like, she felt something that, and then she comes down and she's like to her father, "Can you look for him in Rishikesh?" That friend of mine.
Okay.
So her father is like, why Rishikesh? He's like, I don't know, just I got this instinct. By that time, his father was very exhausted. That he was the guy who could have done anything, even if they have told him to go to Pakistan or somewhere in Karachi and search for his son, he would have gone by then. So Rishikesh was not
Okay.
something that he wasn't willing to do, or like he was reluctant. He was like, okay, right away he jumped. They kind of went to three of his cousins and they went there by a car and they started looking for him in ashrams, like his photo and his name and everything. And they found him in
Mm.
one of the ashrams and he was working there.
Oh,
And so later,
thank goodness.
yeah, later on yeah. So he left the college afterwards. He convinced his parents that, he was interested in meditation and yoga. And so he wanted to learn those things and teach other people. Parents agreed and it. And so then he has one of the uh, very famous, popular yoga and meditation studio in Delhi right now. So he runs that one. Yeah, so
Oh,
that was really for me. That was
I got a deja vu
even the
from
before.
Iceland.
Yeah, uh, that even before the book came out, that was really one of the a great moment I had with reader kind of. So I'd say. And her sister, interestingly, calls me and she's like, "Do you know how we find her brother?" And I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, he had one of these books, Xerox copied in his room. He read that one. That book inspired him to, leave his home and all that thing. And I was like, okay. So what was the title? And she tells me it was written Ice Town. And I'm like, okay.
Oh,
And she's like, the author's name wasn't there. Yeah, I'm like, okay,
okay.
great. Good that you found him.
Yeah, thank God. So, how do you research about your book, Akash?
Actually, of all the thing about writing, research is something that I love doing. First, I choose the subject I know nothing about. I never choose a subject that I know everything. People often do that, but I choose the subject that I know nothing about. But I'm curious about it. I should be really curious about it. I choose those kind of subjects, and then I read all the books written on them, or watch documentaries, read articles and old newspaper clips and magazine and everything about it, songs or everything that is out there about that topic, and read every word on the internet. And I do it because I choose the topic which I'm curious about, so I never get bored of it. So when I get to know things that I don't know, it makes me more exciting about the topic, so I get more involved into the book. And I'm like, I know this and my reader doesn't, because of this research. So I want to tell them that makes the whole process of writing more exciting. And then I make a list of places that I have to travel. Actually, to be honest, sometimes I don't even have to visit the place, and I can still write through my imagination about that place. But just to fulfill my this desire of traveling, I do visit each of them, even when it's not so necessary. So, and then in the end, I sprinkle a lot of imagination and start writing one word at a time.
Oh, that's nice. So,
Yeah.
is writing your full-time career or would you like it to be?
That's a weird question. Rarely think there is a writer who doesn't wish writing to be his full-time career. In my case, for now, I don't have actually writing my full-time career, but I want it to be.
What what are means what are you looking forward to, apart from writing? What do you want to be?
Actually, I'm trying to figure that out, so I can't really answer exactly what I want to be apart from writing.
Okay, that
This
is
is the
that is
yeah, this is
okay.
the only thing that I've figured it out as it that writing is something that I can do, and others I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I think we are all, in life are figuring out what we are,
Yeah, I think
the
till the
people that
end,
are doing.
yeah, till the end,
Yeah,
probably we all keep on trying to figure out things after other things, and then other things, and
and it
yeah,
just keeps lining up.
yeah, exactly.
So, when you are writing an emotionally draining scene, how do you get in the mood?
Uh, Actually, I'm either writing the story or I'm thinking about the story. So I'm actually always with that story all the time, whether I'm writing it or whether I'm not, whether I'm doing something else, traveling or anything. The story is always in my mind. So it takes very little time to get into the mood and into the story. Probably all it takes is like a quiet room, very dead silence, no human in sight, and some music. Depends on the scene. That's all, and it does the
Oh,
trick. Yeah,
music always does the trick.
yeah, exactly. Music is important.
So, what
I'll
is
tell
the
you.
most
I'll
surprising?
actually I'll tell you this that during writing Ice Town's emotional scenes, I used to get very emotional. Getting out of that emotion was really difficult after finishing that scene. So I used to listen these songs of those Haryanvi songs, those Raju Punjabi.
Oh,
And
Haryanvi song.
yeah, because they have that mood that kind of makes you like dance. You don't understand the lyrics or something, so you just listen to them.
Yeah.
They don't make you emotions or anything. So I used to get the help of those songs to get out of the emotions. Whenever I used to write an emotional scene, I used to play those kind of songs in the background, which are not at all emotional or good at all. It's like just so that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, thank you for like telling me when you are sad. Now I will start listening to Haryanvi songs
yeah.
if
Sapna
I
Chaudhary songs.
find
So I used to
no,
listen those songs.
I don't listen to like much of Haryanvi song, but I should start listening to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
When you don't want to be serious in life, listen to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, no. What is the most surprising thing you discovered while writing your book?
Actually, I have written only one book so far. So I can tell you
Mm.
that this book actually taught me this whole philosophy of Ice Town. There is this quote in my book where I explain you what Ice Town means. Because in reality, there is no Ice Town. Like, there is no town where there is ice and the story is set in that town. Because
Yeah.
by title people can imagine there is some town of ice and where it might be happening, but nothing is
Yeah.
like that exists in the story. So that philosophy which came to me very suddenly and promptly one day, which I wasn't expecting, so I will just quote it from the book only. That the quote is that: look around you. These buildings, cars, trees, and people. Everything is made up of ice, even human emotions and feelings. When one day the sun will rise high, all this is going to melt. Then make sure not to drown in this town. You must gather your things and go in search of another town, another ice town. But always remember, wherever you go, it will always be an ice town. And the thing about ice is, it's meant to melt. So this philosophy, everything is going to melt. So that came to me very naturally while writing this book. So that's what I discovered.
Yeah. So, do you have a favorite character that you have written? If so, who and what makes them so special?
I love Saga's character. Many things. One is because he says, "I'm not going to stay on this planet forever, so I might as well do what I love." One of the scene where other person asks him like, why he's doing what he's doing, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay on this planet forever, so I might as well do what I love. So because he says that, that one line, probably I love him for that. Yeah, Sagar's.
Can you tell us the what was the line?
That line was, he says, "No, I'm not going to stay on this planet forever. So I might as
Okay.
well do what I love." Most of the time, when you have to do something, we have to confront something, we think about so many things, like, how things will work out and like that. But the ultimate thing is that we are not really going to stay on this planet forever. There is a limitation to it, how many days we are. We shouldn't be worried about how people are going to judge us or what if we fail or something like that. So it ultimately says that, I'm not going to stay on this planet forever. So I might as well do what I love.
Yeah. So I think I should go with that philosophy because I think so much about people. And
Yeah,
I'll be,
yeah.
what if I do that? So, what is the key theme or message in the book?
Uh, Actually, it helps one understand what is the cost of going for what you love, and also it shows how worth it is. It motivates you to listen to your inner voice and go for it with the leap of faith.
Okay, so Sagar has had two choices: career, or he's also in love with this girl.
Yeah,
So, if you were in a real life situation
yeah.
like that,
Hmm.
what would you rather choose, career or your love life?
In my case, I have never came into such situation, and also,
Oh,
yeah, and
yeah.
it's a really difficult choice to make. And yeah, in that moment, whatever my heart will say me, probably I will go with it. Yeah,
So we will wait for that moment now, and
yeah,
we will also wait for the book you will write on it.
yeah, exactly.
So tell us about the process for coming up with the cover.
Actually, I had no role in it. One of my closest friend, Jatin Meshram, he had designed
Okay,
it. He did all the work, and it has came out through his imagination. Yeah, so
the cover is really beautiful, by the way.
yeah, and I owe him a
Okay.
lot of money, which I don't think he's ever getting.
Oh, so did he ask you for money or
Yeah,
like?
yeah, he did, but he asked me for so many things, but he hasn't got any.
Okay, thank God. Like, thank God he
Yeah,
is like your close friend, otherwise,
yeah,
can't do that.
yeah. He's rich, he doesn't need money.
Okay, so if your book was to be made into a movie, what the celebrities that would star in it?
I said, actually, I have to tell you this. We have finished writing the movie screenplay for the movie. It's in Hindi,
Oh,
and yeah, we are in the talking terms with different studios now.
okay.
And in case of actors, I don't think I can make that choice because I'm not really good at that. Also, probably I can tell you about director. One of my
Okay.
very close friend who is really watches so many good movies and suggests me also. He told me after finishing a book that if Imtiaz Ali is the director, he will do the justification to the story, the novel's
Oh yeah,
main
of
story. So
course. Yeah,
and yeah, and if Imtiaz sir is the director, then I wouldn't care whom he signs as actor.
yeah. He's best as his work. So where do you draw inspiration from?
Just the people around me and their life and the life itself, the awesomeness of it and the destruction, beauty, and all these things.
Destruction beauty. Can you define what is destruction beauty?
Like you are in love and you feel so good about it, and that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it. And then somehow you get your heart broken, and then you are on the other side of beauty, and still you
Oh,
survive and how you find the way in life. So I love both the sides.
yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. So who is your favorite author and why?
I don't think I can come up with just one. I actually got so many, but I can name few. There is one this Japanese author Haruki Murakami, and then one of me is my favorite author. Though I don't think myself writing the horror genre, but I love
Mhm.
Stephen King's stories, the way he writes them.
Yeah.
Then I
Even
love
I.
yeah. Then I love Yep Scott Fitzgerald. He wrote that The Great Gatsby. He created the Western countries, Devdas. So the Devdas character in India. So he
Yeah, yeah.
created this Gatsby's character. He's kind of a Devdas of Western people. And then
Okay.
I love George Orwell, the way he writes politics through stories. Really great. And then Agatha Christie, the detective she created. Then there is this author, Rohinton Mystery. He's Indian one, and probably most of the people haven't read him, but he writes really good novel. I read his book called A Fine Balance when I was in junior college, and it was really good. Like I just fell in love with it. Then Khalid Hosseini. Then there is this Marathi writer you might know, Shivaji Sawant. I read his book called Mrityunjay, and it was one of the best books. I was like, I can never write a book like this. You need an immense talent to write something like that, and also patience because he wrote that book over the 10 years. Worked on it 10 years. I'm like, oh god, I can't spend ten
Oh my
years on one book. Yeah. So he then John Green, then Albert Camus, Marcus Zusak, Arundhati Roy, then John Grisham, Dan
God.
Brown, and among
That's
others.
good.
I think I
So I think,
I I admire the kind of stories they write and the way they write it.
yeah,
And
I
yeah,
mean, I think every author has something special to offer.
yeah,
Like even I, if you can you something that you offer, no other author can offer that
yeah. Who's
as
your
strong.
favorite author, by the way?
Yeah, I told you I love Stephen King.
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't say one other author's name when they ask you. That was a tricky
Oh,
question.
so
No,
I
but
told you
yeah,
this is my fangirl movement. I have
yeah,
told you thousand times
yeah,
that this interview is almost like a dream for me. So you can
yeah.
imagine that.
No,
So,
but
but I have
I love Stephen King, so I don't mind the answer.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah.
So if you could choose three people to invite for a dinner party, who would they be and why?
If the dates are included, I think I would invite Mahatma Gandhi, Adolf Hitler, and that comedian, the Ellen, and I would just sit there and listen what they talk. It would be interesting what Mahatma Gandhi says to the Adolf Hitler and how Ellen actually cracks the jokes in between and how the conversation would go on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
do would you play the major part in their
No,
conversation,
I don't
or
think if
you would?
these three are there, then I don't think I have to play any role.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So if you had to describe yourself in three words, what would they be?
Dreamer, believer, and crazy.
Can we know the reason behind that?
It's very long story. I probably write someday a book and I will explain it to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's we are surely waiting for more books.
Yeah.
And what message will you give to your young aspiring writers?
Stop thinking and start writing. Simple as that.
If you have a story, just start writing.
Yep. Start writing. Stop thinking about it.
Okay, so tell us, our listener, that where can we find your book,
Uh,
Aista?
Actually, Ice Town is available on Amazon and Flipkart as well. You can order it from there anytime you wish. And if you do, I will see you in the book.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Akash, it was lovely having you here. And as I already mentioned, that this was a dream interview. Thank you for giving us your time. It really
Uh,
matters a lot to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Janvi, for having me here. It was pleasure talking to you and about books and stuff. It's really great, and I wish you all the luck for your this great venture. And yeah, good luck.
So this was Akash Rathod for you guys. Go check out his book on Amazon and Flipkart, and we will be back with an amazing author soon.